Hi, my name is Claudia Quintanilla. I'm a knitwear designer based in Toronto, and today we're in episode 4 of how to make a raglan t-shirt. The making of this t-shirt is a part of a KAL that we're doing, but I think this video can be quite helpful for people who want to know how to make a raglan t-shirt or how to make a raglan sweater, because the basic is really similar. Today we're going to talk about 4 things. Number 1, what happens when we make a mistake. That I have made a mistake here and I wanted to show it to you. Number 2, we're going to talk about making short rods in the bottom part of your t-shirt, and then we're going to proceed to do the edge of our t-shirt that is made with this little stitch that I really like. And then in the end, I'm going to be casting on Purl-wise. I know that this is a bit advanced. I know that most of you haven't finished your t-shirt or maybe not in this point yet, but I want to move on to teach you another things about the next t-shirt that is in this KAL, that is DRNS, and I have a couple of things that I actually want to show you here in these videos. Maybe in the next video, I'm going to start to show you that. I have a couple of reasons to need to move faster with this, because I'm in the process to finishing a book with Cozy Publisher that is going to be published this year. So I kind of want to have all of these videos, that you guys can have the videos, and I have them ready for you before I have to move on to do another videos for my book and for another knit along that I've been planning for a while. That I want to invite all of you in advance, but I cannot tell you exactly what this knit along is going to be about. It's a bit of a surprise, but it's a very good surprise. I think all of you going to love it. And another thing that I want to do is I want to do another knit along with you that actually you show me exactly in which one of my patterns you having problems. Then I can come and do a knit along, and during we do the knit along, I produce a video that actually help you in all the technical steps of a t-shirt or a sweater that you really want to make. So I have a lot of things organized for today, because I want to give you a little peek into something else that I'm making, that I'm going to be making a video, and that something else is how to transform a small little scarf that is nothing, like that is very little, to something that is more fancy and more cool, but I'm going to show you that by the end of this film today. I have to tell you what happened. What happened is that, I don't know if you remember that I told you in the last episode 3 that I didn't like to weave in my ends as I go. So I have a lot of ends here that they may be annoying, and they're actually very annoying sometimes, but I have a reason, and the reason just show up, and I didn't want to keep going without showing you what I have done. Well, I actually have 2 reasons to be happy that I didn't weave any of the ends on. So for these videos, I make 2 prongs because it's easy for me to do 2, because I have to film it in different moments, and I want to film something that is really close to my hands that you can be seeing it. So I feel the need that they're going different states. So I try to make 2 examples, but I make a mistake. I didn't have enough yarn for 2 of the examples. So I'm going to have to sacrifice one, and I don't know which one. So I'm going to ask you guys your opinion. Please give me your opinion. This is the stripe that I like the most, but I don't know if it's the stripe that you like the most, and I really need your help in this. And this stripe I like less, but I think it's not bad. I mean, this one is fitting me very nice. And this is one of the reasons why I'm happy that I didn't weave it in, but I have a second reason, and you guys going to kill me if you could. I went to the hairdresser because I'm addicted to go to the hairdresser, because my hair is almost white and I don't like it. I like to have my hair in different colors, so I go to the hairdresser like at least a few times a month to color my hair. So, and I took my knitting with me, and I always knit in the hairdresser because I feel that, oh, if I don't knit, I'm wasting my time. And so, and I cannot read because I don't have the attention spent to be reading in the hairdresser because it's so noisy. So I always bring my knitting, and they all admire me. They always ask me what I'm doing. And so I feel really happy that they're like into my knitting. But this time I did something really bad, and I didn't notice it until really late. So I'm going to show it to you close to the camera to see if you can spy what I have done. I don't know if you can see that line really clear there. The line there, I put it in my face, I'm sorry, but there's a line there with like a bit of like little brown points there. And so what happened is that I saw a bit of like brown spots in my knitting, but I thought, oh, that's part of the yard. How cool. My yard is so nice. It's so natural. But then they keep happening more and more. And then I start to notice that actually there were like dyed on the thread. And I figured it out that was a color from my hair. And so now I have to undo it because uh, the worst part is that I could probably leave it because I'm not like super taking things and to be super, super perfect. I probably could leave it. It was just in the back a bit, but the line is exactly in my breast and it annoyed me a lot. And if it was something natural in the yard, I still would leave it because I think that is like a kind of like connection between the wool, the part of the wool that is in this yard or the cotton, and I thought, oh, that's make it more interesting. But actually is a memory of my weakness of always thinking that I have to dye my hair. So I don't think I can keep it like that. And then it's in my chest, and I don't want to have something like that, like very distractive in there. So today I'm going to undo that as a part of this video, and I think these things happen. And I have another problem that I have to tell you. I was very distracted during I was knitting this sweater, and I put the short rods wrong. So the short rods that were put a bit later, a bit after, a little bit, they start here, and instead to start here, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I keep going, and now I know that is a problem, and I have to fix it. But I don't want to fix it until the t-shirt is not done. So when the t-shirt is done, I'm going to make a video to show you how I'm going to fix it, because I think that is a good investment of our time. So I'm gonna do it in the camera. If I chose this one, I have to fix that. This one in another side, although I don't like the stripes, I didn't make any mistake in the short rods. The short rods are showing perfect, and when I put it on, I look amazing. So I need your opinion about this. So now we're going to go to the table, and the first thing I'm going to show you is how I unravel, how I undo my t-shirt to the point where I have the mistake. Here is where the problem is. You can see all of these little spots that in the beginning, seriously, I thought them was like part of the yard, but it's not part of the yard. So I'm going to be undoing all of this, and I'm going to show you until where I have to undo. Because look at here, it's look almost like these little holes, but it's not that, it's just on the color of the hand hair dye that is there. This is one of the advantages that I didn't sew my ends or weave in them, because otherwise the undoing would be way more difficult and more painful, don't you think? So here is what is left. My 3 balls. I have to remember that this is not to be used anymore, no? I just gonna put back my needles and I'm gonna keep knitting. Okay, this is a little challenging because the yarn is fray or fall in little pieces, so I guess it's more educated ways to do this, like put it in a thread, but I don't have patience for that. I just was so much to undo, and it's like if I lose a stitch, I'm just gonna use a crochet hoop to fix it. So, and that's it. Here. We're going to go back to knitting. Some stitches I'm gonna have to refix a bit, and just gonna knit to the end. Now we're gonna go to the table and see how I do the short rods in the end of the t-shirt. And that's going to depend pretty much of how long you want your t-shirt to be. I like my t-shirts to be short because I wear them with skirts, and I barely wear pants. But if I were wearing a pants, I probably would like my t-shirt to be a little bit longer because I like to cover my belly, because I don't like that. So, but I'm going to show you how to do them, and let's go back to the table for that. So I want to give you a little advance of what we're doing here. We're going to do the short rods and in the back, in the bottom hem. So I want to show you that I have a marker here to mark the middle of each side. This is my BOR marker, so that is for this side, but I have put an extra marker here to mark where half of the stitches are, because all the short rods are going to be happening between here and here, so I want to have a clear line of where is my half. And so I'm going to follow the directions from the pattern, so we're going to do a step by step. And first I just finished my rod where I'm going to start my short rods. I'm gonna move the marker and I'm going to start to knit with my new yarn because it's the new color now. I'm going to put my new color there. They ask you to start with different number of stitches of rods, and here I did 6. I think in some of the patterns they ask for 4, but that's something that you're gonna see in your pattern. So I'm starting to knit with my new yarn, slip my marker. I have my new yarn here, and I'm going to do 1 stitch. We need into 1 stitch before the first marker, and because you're going through the back, these short rods, they're happening in the back. So we're gonna get quickly there. So here is our marker, and we go all the way to the next one before the marker. So we get into the side marker, and 1 stitch before to the side marker, we're gonna do our first turn. And because we're doing German short rods, it's going to be in this one. So I'm just going to turn my work and pull this very tight. Then you're going to have a better short rod. Doesn't gonna create any hole. If you pull it really tight, it's gonna look nicer in the end. So tighten it up, and we're gonna go all the way. So just add where you did the short rod and maybe the one after. The rest you can just knit normal. Now we're going back to one stitch before the marker that indicate the beginning and or the end of the row, whatever you want to think about, the BOR marker. So for this project, you have to, with the short rows, you have to go line by line. I'm just gonna show here 2 or 3 lines, and then you have to pay like attention to the indications and follow them strictly like they've been told you there in the paper in your pattern. But I want to just demonstrate you a few of them. So now, one before the marker, and I'm gonna turn. Do this very tight. We're gonna go 2 stitches before the double stitch. Last short row, and now I'm going to knit the whole way to conceal all the short rows that I have created. I'm going to knit the double stitch as there were one, because actually they're just one, but they're twisted in the back, they're torn. Now I just want to show you how I'm going to conceal my double stitches, and then after that I'm going to start the hem. So I'm just gonna knit 2 of them together here really tight to make sure that the short row doesn't look weird, that make it look nice. And here I'm going to do this brown one, and here I'm in the middle marker here, and slip a middle marker, and I'm gonna knit the whole row, and after this I'm gonna knit another row, and then we come back to start the beautiful hem. Then I show you in the last video how to do this hem, so you can go and see the video before this one. You can see how the hem get done. Now, because I have different color, and it's my second row with the new color, I'm going to pull this up and knit it together to try to don't have any ladder in there. Here is harder because I started row in there, so hopefully this work. And here is my short row, my double stitches here. Make sure that you don't do the different one, and it's done there. And we're going to go all of this row up. Here I'm gonna have to sew it, but now we're gonna go one row more, and then we're going to start our hem with this nice stitch. Now we're going to go back again to the table to see how I do the hem. And I use this little beautiful stitch that I actually really like, and it's very, very simple to do. It's super simple to do, but I'm gonna show it to you how to do. And after that, I'm going to cast off in a purl-wise. And so that's all we're going to be seeing in the table today. In this one, you have to yarn over, knit 2, and pass the yarn over the 2. This is gonna be difficult because here I have done another things here, and now we're gonna knit 2, do a yarn over, and pass 2 over. It's a very simple stitch and it's look really nice. So we need to yarn over and pass the yarn over the 2 stitches that we need. And we keep going like that. Knit 2, yarn over, knit 2, in the beginning of this row, I'm just gonna keep knitting the whole row. And in the third row, I have to repeat the same thing, but starting after the first 2. So this is my second row, I'm just knitting. So I done the knitting row that I did after the wrapping of the stitch. Now is my third row, and what I'm going to do in the third row, because I have wrapped the first 2, I'm just going to knit the first 2, and I'm going to wrap the next ones with my yarn over. So yarn over is over there, and then I'm just gonna wrap it over here in a way that they look staggered. So they're gonna look like nicely and staggered. Let me show you the idea, and if you see the idea, you will understand it more clear. So that would be my third row where they start to stagger a bit. So if you see here, they're all staggering. So that's why first row, yarn over, second row, just knitting, third row, you do your yarn overs and the 2 stitches after the beginning, because you want them to look in this way. Now that you have finished all the repetitions that you have to do, is just 3 repetitions, and then you do 1 row of knitting and 1 of purling, and then you're gonna cast off with just purling. So this is, I'm just gonna show you the first few stitches. You're just going to do like you purling and cast off. There's nothing like super fancy here, but it's the one that I like the most for this, because it's give a nice look in the end, and it's very thin. So just like you purling, and then you get the first stitch over the second one, and you just continue doing this until it's done. I want to say thanks to stay all to the end to the explanation for our t-shirt, but I want to show you something else and I'm working on it, and I want to invite you to a video that I'm going to prep today about how to make a very simple scarf that is nothing. It's like not even a scarf, I don't know how you call this, it's like a mini scarf, and it's just very simple and plain into something very cute and can be even fancy if you want to put beads, embroidery, or whatever you want to put. But here I just transform it a bit with a little bit of crochet. And so in this video, in this next video, I'm going to be showing you how to do that super quick with crochet. And this crochet is especially for the knitters, because it's good to have a little bit of knowledge of crochet just to embellish our knitting really quick. It's way faster than to do it with knitting lace. And I have to say that I'm going into like, I don't know if it's an addiction, but I'm making so many scarves and so many like little mini scarves. I think this summer they've been very trendy, so I want to show you another one that I'm making. But in the next video, in the video where I'm showing you how to make this, I will show a few more than I just recently have done. And here it is, I'm doing another one just in black and white, because black and white I think is never go out of fashion, and it's kind of one of my favorite combos. And so I just want to invite you to this video, because in this video you're going to get like basic knowledge to use crochet in your knitting, and I think that is such a good thing to know. If you don't know crochet, don't worry, I'm going to be showing you something really basic, and you don't have to do the whole all of the stitches that I'm gonna be putting in there. If you just do the basic one, it would already make your scarf more interesting. Thanks for having stayed almost to the end. I just want to say what we're going to be talking in the next podcast, and it's going to be podcast number 5, or video or episode number 5 in the knitting of our raglan t-shirt. And we're going to be talking about how to block it, and we're going to be talking a little bit about eyeness, because some people who already did the stripe t-shirt, they're asking us questions about the another t-shirt that is an alternative in this knit alone. We're going to be speaking a little bit about jogglers, and because this shirt is a bit different, this shirt is like the stripes are like one after another one, so it's no way to do that in here. So I'm going to show you the trick that I used to make it look really nice. Actually, I ended making it look like a part of the design, and I think it's ended looking quite cute. I mean, it doesn't look perfectly straight, but I think can be used like a little detail that it make it cuter. And I'm going to be showing you how to apply this like little lace corner in here, or ribbon, I don't know how you say that, like this little edge. And so that's what we're going to be talking in the next video, and we're going to see how my t-shirt look, and I'm going to probably be wearing it, and I'm going to talk to you about blocking it. Thanks for having stayed to the end. Please leave me a comment, please subscribe, and please let me know what I'm not doing well, then I can fix it, because thanks to you we're getting to improve the videos a lot.